But the only problem was now they've taken me outside, put me in the back of a police car, and then now we're driving and I see a big sign, East LA Jail. Oh no, this isn't good.
Big time, no man, diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Don't do it, wash your back, wash your mouth, don't do it.
What's up, and welcome back to Involuntary Yoga. I'm psyched about this episode. I knew with the bare knuckle card coming up here in Denver and then ONE FC that there's going to be a ton of people coming to town. And I'm honored to have Mr. John Wayne Parr here, who's one of my favorite Muay Thai fighters of all time. Hey. He's a legend in the sport. And then we got Reece Mclaren, who's fighting here on the ONE FC card. It's ONE FC's first American show. And what's the date on that?
The 5th.
The 5th.
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah, so I think it's sold out, but you can catch it on, Amazon Prime?
Amazon Prime, yep.
Yeah, I'm still going to try to get tickets.
Where is the fight?
It's at the
First Bank Center?
Yeah.
And it's sold out already?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, so thank you guys for coming, man. All the way from Australia.
Hey,
Let's go.
does the podcast come with subtitles with our accents?
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Put them down the bottom there for us.
I know, we were talking in the car on the way
Best
here.
accent in the world, in my opinion.
I know,
It's the
I want
best.
it. We were talking in the car on the way here, and I was like, what did you say, afternoon or?
Arvo.
Yavi.
Avi.
Avi.
I was like, what? He's like, afternoon. You just shorten it. We don't have time for those long words.
Yeah. Time, or is it like a lazy thing in Australia?
Oh, it's just,
I know, I was like, relax. We're the lazy ones here, okay?
What are 4 words in Australia that you would say there that we don't have any idea about? Avi's one of them. What's another one?
Avi, Sheila,
Sheila, is that like a woman?
a woman,
Okay.
Shaggin.
Shagging, fucking?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm 3 for 3.
What's another one?
I'm on the spot.
Cunt is used a lot more.
Yeah, you guys use cunt a lot, don't
We'll
you?
use it as a mannerism for friendship.
You fucking cunt.
That's for your buddy. That's what you call your buddy.
Yeah, actually, I got to ask you about this because I haven't gotten to talk to any Australians about this, but when I was in, Melbourne? Melbourne is how they say it, right? Or maybe it was Sydney. It was after my fight. I went out to a club and I was with a bunch of friends. We were partying. And these guys that were at the fight, they were just like buying drinks all night. Like we were getting hammered. And one of them comes up to me and he like slapped me in the chest. Which of your bills of money is red?
20?
20? Yeah, 20.
Yeah. Well, he slapped me on the chest with a 20 and he's like, you just got red backed. And they were all laughing, but like gave me the 20 and they called it red backed. And I was like, I looked at him like, well, shit, do it again. Like, I didn't get it, but it was like some inside joke. I don't know if it was an Australian joke or what.
I
But
don't know.
I heard that one.
they were like dying laughing. I was like opening my pocket. I'm like, do it more.
Yeah. So you're a stripper.
Yeah. That was my stripping days in Australia.
Chris's OnlyFans. Shout it out, buddy.
Yeah, check it out.
Hey, someone's got to work that corner store, right?
Hey, it's my main sponsor right there. But no, so you got this big fight. You guys were telling me in the car. This is a title contender fight for ONE FC, right?
Pretty much. It's the way we're looking at it.
Nice. Maddie, will you pull that up? You told me your opponent's
And
name.
this is so Muay Thai fight kickboxing.
No.
No, his is
MMA.
MMA. Oh, dope.
So Reece is currently number 4, and then the gentleman he's fighting is number 2.
And will you tell people who is ONE FC more of an overseas promotion, or is it
Asian.
Yeah,
Asian?
Very east
Yeah,
based.
so Singapore, Philippines, Malaysia, they've been China, Japan.
Yeah.
And before we get into the clip, how does it compare to UFC and Bellator? Is it? And are they part of the world rankings or no?
You're still at the knee and the head in one championship.
Oh,
Their rules are awesome.
So, soccer kicks were only just placed like illegal maybe 4 or something years ago.
that's kind of awesome.
Yeah, I'm one of the only like sole survivors to come back from one.
Wow.
So,
You got soccer kicked?
twice I got
In the same fight?
twice, but I only remember one.
That sucks. You remember one.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
So how does it compare like to UFC? Is there a lot of huge talent in ONE FC? Is there
Massive.
Well, now they've gone. They went from an MMA corporation to multiple martial arts. So not only do they do the MMA, but now we have cage Muay Thai, cage kickboxing, submission grappling.
Yeah, they got grappling on there as well.
Yeah.
The grappling is really cool.
And when he says cage Muay Thai, so he actually started this sport. So it's Muay Thai with MMA gloves on. So elbows, knees, all of that, just minus the big gloves.
And then if you happen to get dropped in the round, you get an 8 count. So the fight's not over straight away. So you get an 8 count. So you got time to recover. You can still come back. You can still win. So it's pretty much Muay Thai except for in a cage. And then when I was researching, I looked on YouTube, and there's a few guys doing K1 rules in the cage with big gloves. Thought, how am I supposed to get respect from the MMA crowd if I'm wearing big gloves? I got to wear the little ones if I want to try and make it the same environment and the same skill set. But so when we did our first show, I was so nervous, thinking just complete striking. Hopefully no one dies. And luckily no one did. And it was from the first fight to the last fight was so exciting, just because everyone knows they're wearing the small gloves. Every punch is a potential knockout punch, so every single person is just going for it.
Did you see people's strategy change?
More violence, more engaging, just because they knew they were one punch away from winning.
Yeah.
So and then sometimes the guys that aren't at a high level technique wise, but they made up for it with their tenacity. So it was really exciting.
What did you think about the plum, like the Thai clinch?
Oh, fingers! All of a sudden, I got fingers.
Yeah, you don't have your glove now. You can grab.
Yeah, you can manipulate the guard to pull down their hands for elbows, and you can catch kicks a lot easier. You can catch teeps. It really changed the game. But I also noticed a lot more holes. So when you wear the big gloves, you can cover your face, and then but the MMA gloves, all of a sudden, your hooks and everything's like, oh no, this isn't cool.
Yeah,
I know. Oddly enough, even training for bare knuckle, it's even different with the MMA gloves and barehanded. Like, I don't think you can sit there as much and defend. We're working more like head movement and stuff, because even, I don't know, just it seems like even that 4-ounce glove still has a bit of padding that you can stop. So it is different. Like, you change your strategy, and I think, I don't know. I bet you loved the clinch with the hands. Did that take some getting used to, or?
Yes. And the MMA gloves are hard to train for as well, because you do one pad session and your fingers just all ripped up, and then it just hurts.
Yeah, so, you're better off just doing pads and big gloves.
Big gloves.
Yeah.
I don't ever. I mean, I hit pads now barehanded, but even with MMA gloves, I never did it. I was like, man, it hurts. and now I'm doing it with no gloves.
So for me, are you fighting in this event, or you're coaching?
Coaching.
Okay.
Yeah, so I retired last April. For one.
And how old are you? I should know, but how old are you?
46.
46. You just retired last April.
Retired at 45.
Wow.
Yeah, I was looking up your record before you guys came in.
Is it like 210?
149.
Is it 149?
Yeah.
Oh man, you got to update your Wikipedia page. It had you at like 99 wins and 34
that's just pro
losses.
fights, right?
And then 135 Muay Thai and 14 pro boxing.
Jesus, you're a busy guy. How many times a year is that?
It depends. My most I've had in 1 year was 9 fights in 1 year.
9 in a year.
That was back in Thailand days in '97.
Yeah, because those guys over there are fighting like
so
every other weekend sometimes,
your
right?
prize money is just enough to survive from fight to fight. So the more you fight, the more you're comfortable. So you might only make 1,000 a fight, and then
even at the top level in Thailand.
So you make 1,000, and then you got to give 50% to the camp. So technically, you're only making 500.
Wow. But at that level in Thailand, you're kind of a god, right? You get everything else kind of given to you, or no?
So the deal with my camp was I train twice a day. They give me free accommodation, 2 meals a day, and then after I fight, I give them 50%, and then you're pretty much their property. And then majority of people have to change their last name to the name of the camp. So,
Wow.
And then
Like legally change their name.
not legally, but you're represented every time you hop into the ring. You're known as that gym. And then if you want to change gyms, someone has to buy the rights off the other person. So let's say I'm John Wayne Kmart, and then Target wants to come along. So they'll offer my manager, we'll give you $1 million baht to change John Wayne from Kmart to Target.
And you don't get any of that.
I don't get nothing.
Fuck.
Because they brought me up. They made me who I am. So without them, I wouldn't be who I am. So they get the money.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Hey,
And
Chris, I'm hijacking this a bit, so you can stop me if you want.
So you're pretty much
Can you tell us the origin for you? Because I don't think a lot of U.S. listeners, Chris and I talk about this a lot when we're having beer somewhere and shooting the shit about how much respect we have for Thailand and the sport, and you know how intensely they take it over there, et cetera, et cetera. What was the origin story for you in Muay Thai moving to Thailand? Like, how did it start?
Yep. So I had 13 fights in Australia. Started at age of 14. I started fighting at 14. Had about 13 fights. Won an Australian title, won a South Pacific title, And then I was sponsored by a Thai restaurant. And then I had a really hard fight winning the South Pacific. I got dropped in the second with a leg kick. End up coming back and knocking the guy out with 30 seconds to go on the fifth. And then I went to the restaurant the next day to take the belt and show my sponsor. We did it. We got the belt. And then his name's Richard. Richard sat me down. And I said, oh, look, last night you showed a lot of heart. I think you have potential to go all the way if you want to go. How would you like to go to Thailand and learn from the best? I said, that'd be amazing. That'd be so cool. I said, I'll tell you what I do. If you can organise your passport, I'll do the rest. So I went to the post office, did my application. Passport comes a couple of days later. Go down to Richard. Hey, Richard, my passport came. He grabs me by the wrist, leads me down to the street to the travel agent. I want a 1 6-month ticket, please, for open ticket. So then, he organised everything. So then I jumped on the plane. And
did you know what you were getting into? Like, at the time, you're training from 14 on. And how old were you once you went to Thailand?
19.
19. So you have 5 years now. And do you know the mythology of Thailand before you go? Or was it just an exciting opportunity for an 18-year-old kid? You're like, Bangkok's not far. Yeah. This could be a blast.
Yeah.
Did you know what you were getting into?
Well, at 19, I really wanted the Bangkok.
Yeah, I want to see that shower scene later.
I back in the old days was the VHS tapes, and you used to watch all these guys training in camps and running together as teams down the road and cheap shorts and kicking pads, and it's like, oh man, that was the dream. And then the opportunity came, and
real quick, John, you didn't like footy. Like I played rugby in college. Were you interested in any other sports in Australia? Just fighting?
Yeah, no. Then what's the saying? No plan B. I had to make this. This was my dream from 4 years old. I always wanted to be a martial artist, and once I started, I remember at 13 years old, I came home from training one day, and then Mum was in bed, about to go to sleep. Oh, Mum, I had the best session. Had some sparring. I got to spar some adults. I think I'm going to be a world champion. And she starts laughing, and then it just pissed me off. Like,
she laughed.
Yeah, it's like, and then I held it as a grudge. It's like, I'm going to show you. Inside, I'm thinking, I'm going to show you. And then at the age of 24, I finally won my first world title. And then I ring Mum. I told you I'd do it. And she goes, what are you talking about? Remember when I was 13? I have no idea what you had said. Yeah, so it's crazy.
So you get on this plane, you're by yourself, 19.
Yes.
First time leaving home.
Yes.
And you're going to Thailand to train with a bunch of fucking savages.
Yeah, and then my Richard, the sponsor, he said, you have to promise me you're going to stay 6 months. If you go 2 weeks, a month, you train a bit, you come home and you forget it all. But if you stay 6 months, hopefully you'll create muscle memory, so you'll get a better understanding of the sport. And
what was Richard's advantage to sponsoring you? Like, why?
He was Thai.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's Thai, and then he moved to Australia, and he had a passion for Thai. And every time the Thai team would come to Australia to compete, he'd always look after the Thai teams, and I'd go and hang out with the Thais. And
that's cool.
It was just and just the culture. So Richard used to prepare all the food in the kitchen, and I'd sit in the kitchen and just listen to stories of this faraway place where the main sport was Muay Thai, and people trained hours and hours and hours on end every day, and it just seemed like just the perfect place to become somebody. And then he gave me the opportunity to go and live that dream. So, when I arrived, I stayed at a gym called Sigitong to first start off with, and which was really cool. But they had a lot of Westerners that were there, and not many camps accepted Westerners at the time. They treated us like the enemy. They didn't want to teach us their secrets, because they thought that once we get to a certain level, we'll start beating them at their own sport, and that was the last thing they wanted, because they have so much pride in their heritage.
Yeah.
And then once they started, that was in 1996. In 1998, the Thai economy crashed, and everyone was poor, and money was scarce, and there was no fights. And so let's say someone's prize money was 200,000 baht. Now their prize money was reduced to, say, 30,000 baht.
Which is what in US?
Say 10 grand to 1,500.
Wow.
So all the superstars retired. They're like, well, am I going to risk my life and everything else and train all these hours a day for change? So, and then the camp started realizing, hey, if we had let foreigners come and train, we can start charging them monthly fees, and we can still survive and still put food on the table for the other Thai fighters. So then all of a sudden the wave of Westerners started coming through, and the evolution of the sport started growing, and it was really cool.
I was just going to say, you think that really helped build it even more?
Definitely. And then when I first got there in 96, there was only a handful of Westerners that had become somebody, like Deckers, Danny Bill, Hardly anybody. Rob Carmen, and then and then I was the first Aussie that never heard of an Australian. Do Australians even know what Muay Thai is?
Yeah.
I guess here I am.
And you guys aren't even that far away.
Yeah, so it was very much culture shock. Being in a country that doesn't speak English too was like, oh shit. And then you can only do hand signals for so many hungry, sleepy, and it's like, I got to learn the language. So that was not only being in Thailand to learn the sport, but to learn a different culture was one of my proudest moments. To be able to speak another language now, and to we didn't have any furniture, so every meal you had to sit on the floor with your legs crossed with a plate of rice on the ground, and no toilet paper.
Yeah.
So we'd have to squat over the porcelain hole on the ground and use water in your hand to wipe your bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough.
It's like that. It's like that in India.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then we train 3 hours in the morning, 3.5 hours in the afternoon. Pretty much most times 6 days a week, but every now and again the trainer will go, we'll train 7 days a week for 3 months, and then having no days off was just killer. Just you need that one day just to let the body refresh. But when you train Sunday and then Monday comes, knowing that you got another whole week ahead of you, it was just.
There's certain people listening to this who are going to go, I can't even train for 30 minutes a day, 6 hours a day.
Yeah, and then
And just like, was it hard sparring or just drills or all of it?
every day you're expected to train harder than yesterday. So it's hard, it's tough. And
Wow.
And then and you're the only Westerner I wasn't only the Westerner in the camp. I was the only Westerner in my whole city. So I'd go months at a time without seeing another white person.
Did you feel lonely? When you first got there, did you feel like, fuck, I fucked up. This is bad.
Oh no, I didn't want to come home.
Really?
Yeah, because I was special, because I was the white guy. And then you go to the shops and everyone's doing this. They start pointing at you, and you're the freak. And then you fight on TV and win. And then all the Thais, you'd run down the road, and everyone's flashing their lights and beeping their horn and waving
Wow.
at you. And then you start making the covers of the magazines, and you start, you start becoming somebody. And then when you lose, they'd come out in the street, and not in bad intention, but they have a bitch. Oh, I bet on you. You lose my money. just funny, just cool, just accepted.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you feel like when you went there, being the only white person, everything, like, did they run you through the ringer? Like, do you think they were rougher on you?
Tougher on you?
No, it was sort of weird. So what happened was, I had my first fight in a little stadium, and then I won that one. Then I had a second fight in a little stadium, and then every time I'd fight, I'd go to Pattaya, which is a tourist place 3 hours away. So I jump on a bus, spend 7 days being a Westerner, speaking English, have a hamburger, and then when I go back to Bangkok, I'll be a Thai again. And then, so we're going to Pattaya, and then when I come back again, everyone had run away. So one of the guys that was not the superstar, but probably the second biggest star in the gym, they have a lot of mafia involvement in the fighting. So the mafia might come and, let's say you're making $1,000.
When you say mafia, you mean Thai mafia?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's say you're making $1,000 a fight. I'll come up there and say, I'll pay you $5,000. So I happen to fall down in the second, perhaps.
Yeah.
And then
Did you ever take one of those deals?
I never got offered. But,
Would you have taken a deal?
No. Because that fights are so hard as it is. It's hard enough winning by itself, let alone throwing the fight. But and plus I wanted to be a star. I didn't want to throw where every fight matters. Especially in Thailand, every time you win, your prize money goes up, and every time you lose, it goes down again. So you really want to try and pump up the wins.
Was there any repercussions for people that did say no to them?
Not so much. So the superstar in my gym, Sang Tenoi, he got offered $1 million baht to throw a fight once, and he said no, I can't do it. And then he lost for real. It's like, I should have taken it. Fuck.
He's like, I didn't want to tell you guys. I wanted it to be a secret.
Yeah. So going back to the story, this kid ended up having all his money and started having nice clothes, and the owner of the camp's like, where are you getting this money from? Something's going on. If I find out that you're going to throw this fight, you're going to wish that bad things might happen to you.
Yeah.
So in the middle of the night, he's convinced all the other fighters to run away. So I've gone on holidays, I've come back a week later, and then it was a ghost town. So there was only the owner of the gym, his sons, which were the trainers as well, and the superstar of the camp. So now the superstar had no one to spar, had no one to clinch, no one to box spar with. So I was the only other person. So all of a sudden I was thrown into the deep end. And Sang Ten Noi was the guy. He was probably the number one guy in Thailand at the time, fighting Deckers and Danny Bills, and he was the face of Thailand. Every time a Westerner started showing promising, Sang Ten Noi would come in and get the reputation of Thailand back. So I'd have to be Sang Ten Noi's. As an example, one time, so every time we box spar, we'd wear 18-ounce gloves. And then
Why? Why so big?
Because I discovered 30 seconds into the first round, I'm going tap, 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 tap. And the same thing just drops his hands. He goes, if you don't go 100%, get out. We're sparring. This isn't playing. We have to go. So every time we spar, I'm sparring like the greatest fighter in Thailand. And I got to try and survive, let alone go hard. So, so you need the 18s. And as soon as you do five rounds, then straight onto the pad straight after. So it was just death. And then I have to clinch him half an hour every single day as well. So then getting thrown down every 15, 20 seconds, get back up, thrown down again, get back up. And then eventually you start working out. They don't tell you what you're doing wrong either. You got to learn all by yourself as well. So then I got to the stage where I could start holding my own, and I'd get him down every now and again as well. And then
I love that there's no coaching. Like, just figure it the fuck out.
They throw you down and stand over the top of you and then wait for you to get up and grab you and throw you down
Reece,
again.
has camp been the same for you? Do they throw you around and not tell you anything?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's crazy, eh? So no feedback. It's throw you into the deep, figure it the fuck out.
Pretty much, yeah. And then, so I was very fortunate. Through that training, I won my first 9 fights straight. And then I started showing lots of promise. And then one day we're watching the TV. Everyone's in the gym. We're watching the TV on the weekend, and the commentators are talking about a fight coming up soon. We've got such and such fighting the main event. We've got this guy. Oh, and John Wayne's going to be fighting Orono. And then the whole camp stops and look at me, and I'm like, "What's going on?" So you're going to fight Orono? I had no idea Orono was at that stage either. I was like, I don't know. I've had 9 fights. I've 9 wins. I don't care. Bring it on.
Yeah.
You don't understand. You're fighting Orono. Oh, okay, sure. And then
What would be the equivalent today? Is that like fighting Mike Tyson? Is it like
Mike Tyson with the bites.
with the bites?
So
The one with the bites, though.
Sang Ten had already fought Orono like maybe 5 or 6 times, and like he was like the star. And
you didn't know.
I had
You
no
found
idea.
out from the TV.
yeah, so he was my first loss. He cut me 21 stitches, and the fight got stopped in the third from too much blood and everything.
Elbow?
else. And then that was 97. And then I got to rematch him the year 2000, and then I ended up beating him for his world title in front of 100,000 people live on Thai TV in Bangkok.
Wow.
So it was like the ultimate. It was like Israel and Pereira. You lose, then you got to face your demon and fight him again. Except for I didn't know I was going to fight him until the weigh-in. I was supposed to fight an Orthodox fighter, an Orthodox Thai, and I got to the weigh-in, and then Songchai, the promoter's like, the guy you're supposed to fight is a little bit too light, so. Masato is supposed to fight Orono, but Masato's worried Orono has hepatitis, so he doesn't want to fight him now. So tomorrow you're going to fight Orono instead. So I was training for Orthodox, and now I'm going to fight a Southpaw on 24 hours.
Wait, hold
notice.
on. He was worried he had a hepatitis.
Oh, just a little hepatitis thing.
No big deal.
Did he have hepatitis?
I didn't ask. all I heard was world title, and I'm like, I'm in. And then I ended up owning him for 5 rounds. I smashed him, and then I ended up winning, getting his belt, and then with over there the fights are free. So every year they celebrate the king's birthday. So 100,000 people come to this park in front of the big temples in Bangkok. Have you ever seen the movie Kickboxer?
Yes.
You know at the start of the movie where they're holding pads and hey, you don't win fights with that tip that shit.
Yeah.
That's the park I fought in.
Wow.
That's the park I beat Orono
awesome.
for his world title in.
That's crazy.
So crazy.
That's dope.
So cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, because the king's birthday is like the biggest honor to fight on, right?
The biggest. Yes.
We had Dorian Price on. I don't know if you know him last week, and he was talking about he got to fight on one of those too.
Nice.
And he was saying that's like you've made it, or like that's the biggest honor is to be able to do that.
They usually have the best Westerners versus the best Thais as an appreciation to celebrate. So you rock up to the park and usually have to park the car half an hour away. And you got to shimmy through 100,000 people to get to the
Even as a fighter.
Yeah. And then the first time I did it, I had to get a police escort from the change room to. It's not even change room. It's a marquee with a little bit of string around to keep the fans away. So there'd be like 20 people deep, 40-degree heat, doing pads on dirt.
Wow.
And then you got tie oil on and all the dirt sticking to your skin, and then you got to get a police escort to walk through the 100,000 people to get to the ring.
Just so you don't get mobbed.
Oh, more so to make it faster because otherwise people don't want to move. You've got police there; they sort of help get out of the way. Yeah, it's hectic. But then they built. That was 97. Then 98, they built a big walkway from the change room to the ring, made it a lot easier. So you rock up to the camp. I'm sorry. You rock up to the park. You walk through. They have like all the fireworks celebration. Then everyone gets a yellow candle for the king's colors, and everyone sings "Happy Birthday" to the king. Then they sing the Thai national anthem. And then the festivities start. So you might have the boxing in the middle. You got dancing over here. You got a cabaret show over here. You got something over. So it's a massive celebration just for the king.
Wow.
Man, my birthdays suck.
Yeah, fuck. I didn't do shit for my birthday. I didn't even go to dinner.
So and
100,000 people.
And then the king, all he does is do a drive by, and everyone lines the road, and everyone like waves the flag, and he drives past slowly, and he waves to the people like it's. And then if you get to see him. That's that's it for you got good karma for the year then because you got the watch him drive past.
Wow.
It's such a cool culture.
Yeah, it's a cool culture.
So superstitious. Like how superstitious is the Thai culture?
So you can't talk about the Thai family, the royal family. So if there's a note on the ground and the king's face is up and you step on it, the Thais have the right to punch you in the face and like bash you. They stood on the king's face.
Wow.
What was I supposed to do? He stood on the king.
Do you think some of those things were built in place to keep the mystery of the monarchy?
Yeah, and then if you talk bad about it, you can get arrested and get time in jail.
Oh, shit.
It's full
Really?
on. Oh, big time. And every night at 6 o'clock, every single TV station will spend 5 minutes on what the royal family did today. Every single station. It's just part
That's
of
wild.
And you
part of the culture.
don't have to say because maybe you still go back there, but are they actually like is the royal family actually loved there or is
yeah,
it like
big time.
fake?
No, it's full on. It's so good. Everyone has pictures of the royal family in their houses and.
I didn't know if it was like North Korea where they like have to do that. If you're not crying hard enough, we're gonna kill you.
The last king that I was fighting for, he was the man. He did so much for the country and built farming and helped the watering the building dams and just did everything right. And then now the new king, he's not quite as respected as the old king, but I'm sure he'll get there eventually. But it takes a little time to get the respect from the people.
So I have a question about Thai camps when you're fighting. You said 2 meals a day, which clearly wouldn't be enough for me.
Yeah.
I'm 285. I need like 5,000
You need
calories.
17.
I need 5,000 calories before noon to function. Did you guys? Is it strict? Do you get to see girls? Is it? Were you sleeping on the floor? It's so basically like bare existence.
So you
Sleeping outside, like
and then you sleep beside all the fighters too. So is it called the boxers' room? So you have like 10 different dudes side by side, and then
was that horrible? It sounds like a concentration camp.
No, good. Yes, it is. There's no ifs or buts.
Did you have trouble sleeping in the beginning? Like I'd be a mess in the beginning.
Ghosts? So we had a pole in the room, and so when I got introduced to the round, all right, this is where we're gonna sleep. So I tried to sleep next to the wall, so then I have one person beside me instead of two.
Smart, strategic.
And then there's a pole in the room, and it had all these ribbons around it and all this powder. And so the first night, I put my feet on it, and then one of the Thais jumped up, and he's jumped across the room and pushed my feet off the pole. He said, "Oh, there's a ghost that lives in that pole. You have to respect it." I'm like, "Oh, whatever." So that night I gone to sleep, and then in my dreams, I dreamt I was in a shopping center, and there was a presence of a lady with big robes floating behind me, and in my dream I can remember the spirit saying, "Believe, this is real. This is Thailand." Blah blah blah. And then the next night I was having a dream, and I remember I was dreaming, and there was a face in front of me. And then the face just went all the way through me, and I woke up, one of those ones where you go, "Oh."
Yeah.
And then the third night was my first case of sleep paralysis.
Oh, man.
Where I just like, "Bah!" And I felt like this heavy presence on my chest, and I couldn't move, and I couldn't wake up, and I was stuck, and I was screaming, and I was trying to wake the person beside me so they could wake me up. And, And I just felt like I was there for eternity, and I finally woke up. And then the next morning I woke up and I told the trainer, "Oh man, I had the craziest dream last night. I felt like something's holding me down." He goes, "Oh, that's just the ghost. That's the ghost in the room. That pole, there's a ghost that lives in that pole. So when you chop the trees down, lots of spirits live in trees. So when you chop it down, the ghost comes with the trees. So that's why we decorate the pole for, to keep her happy. We don't want to make her angry, so we decorate her. We give her nice ribbons. We put perfume on her to say she smells nice, and
Wow.
we decorate her.
That's crazy.
And then from that moment forward, I'd get held down in my sleep paralysis maybe 4 or 5 times a week for 4 years.
Oh man.
It was terrible. Daytime, nighttime, it wouldn't matter. Every time I go to sleep, I never know if that was the one where I get held down again, and it was awful.
I'd be decorating that pole every day after that.
But as soon as I came back to Australia, it never happened again.
Really?
I'd get held down
Wow.
4 or 5 times a week for 4 years, and so it just became normal. And then as soon as I got back to Australia, it stopped. So I don't.
Did you apologize to the pole? Like,
Oh, I was terrified.
did you talk to it? Like,
I
will
was
you stop?
terrified every
You're
night to go to
fucked.
sleep. I just, please don't get me.
Did you have anxiety like going to bed?
Oh yeah, for sure. And then once you get hit you, and then you wake up, and then you still got another couple hours to go. It's like, oh no, I don't want to go back to this bed again.
Fuck.
Have you guys ever had sleep paralysis?
Yeah, it sucks.
I had it once, only once ever. It was the weirdest thing ever. I can't move.
It's horrible. It's terrifying.
Yeah, I remember everything. I was trying to make noises, so I'd like wake up, kind of like snap out of it. But yeah, just being like frozen, it's the weirdest thing.
And then the Thai said, if the ghost doesn't like you, that he can hold his hand over your mouth and suffocate you in your sleep.
Thanks, boys. Good night. Can't wait. Wait, so in the beginning though, like you get to, it's just a big room, and you have pads, you have blankets, is it open air like everything in Thailand?
Mosquitoes. It's a room with the mosquito nets and everything, because at nighttime the mosquitoes are so bad.
I'm blown away by this. That there's like they just throw you in a room and they're like,
Yeah.
go to bed.
And then with the shower, so there's no shower. It's like a big basin full of water with a plastic container on top. So every time you want to shower, you stand on the concrete, you use the plastic container to wet your body, you just lather up with the soap, and then you rinse the water off and it runs outside. And
How bad did it smell in there?
So you got the blue container. So using that to wash the body, then using the same blue container to put water in your hand to wipe your bum, and then using the same blue container to pour water in your hand after you brush your teeth to wash your mouth out. And then you got 10 different dudes using the same blue container to wash their butt, wash their body, wash their teeth. And then, yeah.
Did you ever get sick in the beginning or like?
Yes.
That's where the hepatitis came from.
Yeah.
So I get diarrhea really bad 3-4 times a week. And then about 2 years later.
And nobody cares, right? They're like, you're still training. No one gives a shit if you don't feel good.
Yeah, just train harder. and then so we had a
Maddie, by the way, this is new. I'm gaining all this intel so that I can run the company like this. Everyone's gonna sleep in the gym. There's no more breaks. Work harder. I get it. I love this.
It's time to flip the world of soda on its head. The new evolution is here, and it's called Fit Soda. Enjoy flavors like sparkling citrus, black cherry cola, orange cream, and root beer vanilla float. There's no guilt needed because Fit Soda is triple filtered, packed with aminos and electrolytes for hydration. Think it can't get any better? Every Fit Soda is sugar-free and absolutely 0 calories. What are you waiting for? Pick up a Fit Soda.
We had a filter on the tap, so every night we'd fill up all the plastic bottles and put them in the fridge so we have cold water. And then a couple of years later, I was joking around about the water. I said, "That's okay, we've got a filter." And all the Thais start laughing. Oh, what's so funny? Oh, we haven't changed that filter for 20 years. So I was pretty much drinking straight Bangkok water, which is probably is not a good idea. Which
Right.
probably explains why
You never get sick anymore? Do you ever
I'm
get
fine now. I'm good now. I'm good now.
I was gonna say your immune system is probably super strong now.
Come on, COVID, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last week, like I said, we had Dorian on, and he was telling us he lived at one of the camps. I can't remember the name of it. One of the Bangkok ones, and he's like, my girlfriend came to visit, and she was from Australia. And what was he saying, Maddie? Like she got there, and he's like, "Oh, you want to see my room?" And he showed her, and he was like, "Yeah, do you want to stay here tonight?" And he said she walked in there and was like, "Fuck that!" and he goes, "She walked straight out, and like I don't think they talked again or something."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's like, we went to a love motel where you rent by the hour or something. He's like, she refused to sleep in there, and he's like, I don't understand why, but
So this is a really personal question, but I can't stop thinking about what did you do when you needed to like jerk off or like you like how do you get private time and like how do you was there any of that?
Long showers. long.
Okay. So you had a way to get it out.
Yeah, but every time I did, the Thais, the next day I'd be kicking pads. What'd you do last night? You chugga.
No way.
Yesterday you were so strong, and then today you pew pew pew. So last night you sure. I was like, fuck. Oh, no. But inside I'm going, no, how do you know every single
Like
time?
every time they would know?
Every time. It
like,
was
you can
so
feel it.
bad. It
No
was so-
shit.
It was so demoralizing. Damn it. They found out again.
Out on it.
They knew every time. It
Every
sucked.
single fucking time. That's
much.
insane.
So are they big on? Because I've been having this conversation with people like all week about like no sex before fights.
Yes.
Are they big on that? Because
Oh,
I don't
massive.
believe in that. I'm
Massive.
like, they old boxing coaches.
Chris jerks off 8 times a day.
Hey, it's gotta go somewhere.
We've had this talk a lot, like 3 times a day. I don't know how you do it.
Maybe it's not always jerking off.
Yeah.
You come 3 times a day, right?
Why are you gonna put me on blast? my mom listens.
It makes for good radio. You're just a healthy boy exploring your options.
Yeah. See, I don't believe in that. Like old boxing coaches are like, oh, it'll make your legs weak. I'm like, man, if that makes your legs weak, you got weak legs. Like
Bodybuilders are the same.
because think about every warrior throughout history, they would always fuck before battle. They didn't think they were coming back. If it was good enough for them, it's good enough for me.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. Fair point.
Oh man. Yeah. So, but hold on. You said long showers, but you said the shower is
Yeah,
right there
yeah.
with the cup with everybody.
So yeah, it's rough.
Like, everybody turn
you can
around.
still, yeah, you can still close the door. You can still have privacy to shower.
Oh.
So yeah, it's very, very interesting time. And then when I had my fight, and I got 7 days ago, rent a hotel and just be myself, and then be a Westerner, and then come back to the camp.
Say that again. So there were times when you like.
Yeah, as soon as I have a fight, the next morning, at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'd go to the bus station, I'd catch a bus for 3 hours, go to patio, be a Westerner for 7 days.
Oh, so you got to chill and have some like.
Yeah.
That's when you're talking about eating burgers and.
Eating burgers and
Did you drink at the time? Or would you have beers and like dope?
in camp, you'd be straight, and then for that 7 days, you'd be wasted every day for 7 days. And then once you hit the camp again, it's back to being a Thai.
Yeah,
That's how it should be.
And Reece, have you trained in Thailand? Make sure you talk close.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I've been a bit spoiled. I don't really feel like I need to go when I got this guy.
Yeah.
His gym's a little bit
Do
nicer though.
you think training in Western culture is like weak in that sense that they're not tough enough on people?
Oh, it's just different. It's just back then, Muay Thai was still coming up, and then Thais have been doing it for so many centuries that they were so good and so strong, and it was just more so. I think being poor really makes you hungry,
Yeah.
and then when you have nothing, you have everything to strive for, and you have nothing to lose. So
When you say that happened to McGregor, like he was hungry, gets 100 mil, and then I wouldn't say he's fallen off. He's obviously great, but he has fallen off though. Like when he fought Poirier, and you could tell he had taken that time. You could tell he just wasn't as sharp as Poirier anymore. Just not hungry anymore.
Cocaine. It's a hell of a drug.
What were you saying, Reece?
Cocaine. It's a hell of a drug.
I mean, you see that with a lot of fighters. You see that with a lot of fighters, you know, like once they start making money, they get like a little bit lazier.
Yeah.
I think it was Marvin Hagler that said it's hard to get up and run at 5 a.m. when you sleep in silk pajamas.
Yep.
Is that,
And there's 3 girls in your bed.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to stay in today.
Yeah.
Oh, just to have a bed and just have a table and chair to sit at to have dinner and just like poor of the poor. And then I was borrowing money off the Thais. Oh, I promise I'll pay you back after my next fight. And the Thais like, oh, all right. So I knew I was.
And you had a debt to pay. So when you got your 7 days, did you just go ham? Was it like
Yeah. I'd,
sex, drugs, and rock and roll?
pretty much.
Yeah.
And 19 years old as well.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Thailand's got to be a blast to party in too, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then so with the ladies in patio, so pretty much every girl's a working girl. So that you're at 19, fighter, fit, strong, and then you see them all the girls, and they're holding hands with some 70-year-old bald fat Westerner.
Me, basically.
And then so when they see a fighter, they hey, sexy man.
That's got to be a new button. That's got to be a new
So
button.
you get a bit of an ego boost, and you look around, and then they're calling the guy behind you, who's like the big fat guy. He's sexy too. I was like, hang on, I thought I was a sexy guy, and he's a sexy guy. So yeah, so now that doesn't mean as much anymore. But,
Was your first experience with a working girl strange? Were you like, this is fucking wild?
no.
I grew up in Nevada where it was legal, so I feel like
Yeah, I lived in Vegas for 3 months back in 2002.
Nice.
And then get the click, click, click with the cards. It's like, how nice are these people giving me these cards? Oh, this is awesome.
I know. My first time going to Vegas, like you feel rude, you know. They shove them, so I like had a handful of them, and then finally you just start walking by, like get out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah, I met my wife in Vegas. They had a Master Toddy used to have a gym in over there, and then I got invited to Master Toddy's to teach and train and fight out of his gym. And then she was the star of the gym. She was a multiple. She just won the amateur world games in Thailand, and then Inside Kung Fu magazine nominated her Fighter of the Year in 2001.
That's crazy.
So
He's got a whole fighting family.
Yeah.
Is your daughter's fighting professionally now?
Yes.
Your wife?
So she's had 32 Muay Thai fights and 3 boxing, and she's just won the a small association world boxing title.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Congratulations to her.
Your wife?
My daughter.
Oh, wow.
My wife's a 2-time world champion. My daughter just won the world title in boxing. My son's jiu-jitsu. He's number 2, probably number 2 in his weight division belt.
Yeah, killing it.
He's
Yeah.
doing really well. And then my little 8-year-old girl, she's also in the jits and got lots of gold medals as well. So
Really? Does your son like Muay Thai?
yes, he wants to get MMA.
Oh,
But
okay.
he can't do MMA until he's 16.
dark side.
He's only 14 at the moment. So
Oh, okay. Like you can't compete until you're 16.
yeah, so all his aspirations is working on the mats for now, and then as soon as he gets to 16, he'll start hopefully competing.
That's awesome. Yeah. And your daughter, it's Jazzy, right?
Jazzy, yes.
Shout out to Jazzy
Hey,
Parr. She's
Jazzy.
been killing it, right?
Yeah, she's
I
doing
like
so well.
I like seeing your posts. You know, it's like proud dad. He's like, my daughter won a world title or whatever. Like you're always documenting it for her. It's cool.
She went to Thailand. I took her to Thailand when she was 15, and she stayed for 2 weeks, and then got over there, and I did one session. Then that night, I got a leg infection. I got cellulitis in my leg. So then I ended up spending the next 2 weeks in Thailand hospital, antibiotics on the drip. And so she kept training and competing. And she had the opportunity to fight in a show in south of Thailand in front of 10,000 people in another park. And I'm thinking, oh no, this is her first fight with her dad. I feel so bad. She's going to be so lost. And then she won. She doesn't need me anymore. I got to watch it live on Thai TV from the hospital room. It was insane watching my daughter fight a Thai in front of all these Thais, and for her to compete and win. It was just like so amazing. Then she got to compete in England 2 times. Won both of those. Fought in Canada twice. Fought in England twice. Fought in Thailand 3 times. All that before the age of 18. So the martial arts is just such a crazy sport with so many opportunities to travel and make life experience and lifelong friends. And
Yeah, I mean that's why I've gotten to do most of my traveling was for fights.
Yep.
You know, your wife, was she on? It's Angie, right?
Angie, yes.
Was she on that reality show that Master Toddy had?
No, we just moved away. I just got deported just before that started.
Oh, okay. It was called what? Fight
Deported?
Girls?
Yeah. So so I was living in Vegas, and then the training.
You got deported from America?
Yeah. No. Sorry. So living in Vegas for 3 months, the gym wasn't really paying that much. So me and Angie were hooked up by then. We decided to move to San Diego and teach out of a boxing gym. And then the money wasn't so good, and I got the opportunity to go back home to make $5,000 for a fight. So went back home, had a fight, had a win, got $5,000. I've gone to go back to America, and they've stopped me at the airport saying, "Where's your return ticket?" I said, "Oh, I got a return ticket, but it's in America." I said, well, "We're not going to let you on the flight until you produce a return ticket to know that you're going to come home again." So what do I do? I said, "Well, maybe you can buy a ticket, and then when you get to America, just refund it and get your money back." That sounds easy. All right, let's do that. How much is that? $4,500. I got 5. Sure. One return ticket, please. $4,500. So I get to LA.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. So you go have this fight. You're by yourself.
Yes.
And you win 5 Gs, US,
Yes. No, Australian.
Australian. And so someone stops you at the airport and says you need a return ticket.
Yes. Before I can get on the plane to get flown back to America again.
I would have told them to go fuck themselves. Gone to like the embassy and been like, I'm going fucking back. And then they were like, it's $4,000.
4.5.
So all the money you just won, you're like, fuck it.
Yes.
I need to go home.
Well, my wife was 7 months pregnant.
Oh, fuck, buddy.
Yeah.
So you got it.
Fuck.
And then we got a house in San Diego. We got a car. I got a full-time job. everything. My life was San Diego then.
Were you stressing the fuck out? You just told that story like it was so like, oh yeah, fuck it. Were you like stressed out?
Well, I just thought when I got to LA, I just cash the ticket and I get my money back. So I get to LA, I get stopped at the immigration, the usual. How long were you, when was the last time we were here? Oh, I was here 3 weeks ago. How long were you here for? 3 months. 3 months. You're not allowed to stay for 3 months. Your visa says 90 days. That's 3 months, isn't it? So he counted the days. 92. You're 2 days over your
What
visa.
a dick.
So this is 2002, just after 9/11. So they said 1 day over your visa is equivalent to 10 years over your visa. So you're going straight back to Australia again. I've just got off a 14-hour flight, by the way.
Oh, God.
So I was like, I don't want to go. So next minute, I'm handcuffed.
Did you say 40-hour flight?
14.
Oh, 14.
Might as well be the same.
So I get handcuffed. I got 3 police either side of me. I get led through the airport in front of everyone in the airport. And then I'm telling
This story's blowing my mind. 1 day over your visa is the equivalent. 2 days is the equivalent of 10 years.
Yeah.
Like it's
I
the
would have
same, it
immediately
doesn't
been
matter.
like, that math doesn't add up for me.
Well, 9/11, everyone was so on edge.
And then they handcuffed you?
Yeah, I got handcuffed.
Were you talking shit? You don't seem like a guy who would talk shit.
No.
You were being super nice and court.
Just super. I just wanted to get in. So they've handcuffed me, take me to a room, unhandcuffed me. And then they give you a brown paper bag that had a stale ham and cheese sandwich, a green apple, and a popper. So every time I was hungry, I get one of these brown bags with the
Popper is a soda?
with the straw where you pop into the box.
Oh, like a juice box.
Juice box.
You're like, what am I, 6 years old?
So,
Can I get a ribeye? I've been on a plane for 2 days. Yeah.
So I do. So my wife's in the waiting room. She's waiting for me to pick me up from the airport, and then they won't allow me to see her. So they got to send someone backwards and forwards to correspond. And then she drove 3 hours to come and pick me up from San Diego to LA. And then they said, I can't see her. And I said, I need that ticket. Can you go back home and get that other ticket for me, please? And because they were going to use that ticket, that $4.5 grand ticket. So, you can't use that ticket. That's $4.5 grand. I got another ticket, but it's in my house. It's in my house in San Diego. Can I please get that ticket and use that one instead of this one? And then the guy wouldn't budge for a bit. And then after lots of crying and pleading, please. That's my whole life in that ticket. Please don't let me use it. So Angie drove back in the car 3 hours to pick up the ticket. Drove 3 hours again. So I get taken to the waiting room. Sorry. And then after 10 hours, they said, legally we have to move you every 10 hours. So they handcuffed me, lead me through the other side of the airport again in front of everybody. And kids are grabbing their mum again, pointing at me once again, going, look, it's a terrorist. And then 10 hours pass once again. So, we have to move you. So handcuff. This time it's the middle of the night, so no one's in the airport. And I'm thinking, thank God, this is way better. But the only problem was now they've taken me outside, put me in the back of a police car, and then now we're driving, and I see a big sign, East LA jail. Oh no, this isn't good. So we'll get to
That's fucked up. They took you to the worst possible place imaginable.
So get to
Is that arguably one of the worst county jails?
It was like a big fish tank. It was there wasn't bars. It was like a big thick
glass.
perspex with little holes at the top, like a little mouse. And then got to the room. I was only one in my cell, thank goodness. I didn't get violated.
I think you would have been all right.
I'm dropping the soap, guys. After about 5 or 6 hours at the jail, they've handcuffed me, put me back in the car. Now it's like 9 a.m, and it's rush hour, LAX. Police handcuffed through the middle of the airport, and they take me straight to the gate, and got 200 people waiting for the plane. And they put me on the plane first with all the police, and then they take off my handcuffs, give me my passport back, and then they say, all right, you're banned from America for 5 years. And then they leave, and then everyone gets on the plane, and then everyone sees me and I was like, I hadn't showered in like 4 days by this stage. I was making myself sick. And then, so finally get back to Australia, and I'm just cooked. I haven't seen my wife. I've spent the last 28 hours on flights and airports, and it just sucked. And I finally get back to the counter. I put the ticket on the table. Can I please get a refund for this ticket? And they said, it's going to take about 10 weeks for the process, the refund. So leave us your bank account, and we'll put that straight in your bank in about 10 weeks' time. So I got no car, no wife, no accommodation, nowhere to live. I just got my suitcase and $500. And then luckily,
I'm sorry that happened to you.
Yeah.
That sucks.
That's in the past now.
No, but being a U.S. citizen, that's like shitty.
Yeah.
Like, what a fucking terrible
So
thing.
my wife's 7 months pregnant, so she sells her car, sells whatever little furniture we have. She saves enough to buy a ticket. She flies to Australia, and then 21 years later, we've got 3 kids. We're happy. We've got a gym together. It was the perfect. Even though it sucked at the time, it was the biggest blessing because as soon as I got back to Australia, Fight Office, Japan, K1, Super League, just went crazy, and so if I had to stay in America, I'd have been working in a little boxing exercise gym and not having any fights because the Muay Thai over here doesn't seem to exist.
Yeah.
So even though it sucked, it was the biggest blessing that I could have.
It's such a great story too for that concept of like the obstacle becomes the way, right?
Yeah.
That your biggest letdowns become if you're open to it, can become the biggest opportunities of your life.
Yeah, the worst part of your life can also be a blessing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow.
that was my biggest
then
take from that experience.
Then you blew up from there because you 10-time, 12-time?
10.
10-time world champion now.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Now you tell your mom like, there's another one. There's another one. Start hanging.
You
in
send her
house.
engraved champagne bottles every time you win one to put on the mantle.
And out of those 10, my 2 biggest ones were the ones I won in Bangkok. So to win a world title in Bangkok against a Thai at their sport is like the biggest compliment you could probably get. So
Wow.
And were you mentioned him earlier? Was Ramon Deckers before your time?
he was just finishing. So he had his last few fights for the K1. I think he fought Dwayne Ludwig for one of his last ones, and then I was on that card as well.
Oh, really?
Got to see him in the hotel and hang out. And then he came to Australia not long after to bring one of his fights to compete against Corbett. And then the promoter rang me saying, "Hey, look, Decker and his guy can't train with us because Nathan's here. Is there any chance Raymond and his fighter can train at your gym for the week leading up to the?" Sure. So next one, I'm hanging out with Raymond every single day. Just we train and then we'd take him for lunch. Funny story. So we go to lunch and it's like, all right, Raymond, what can I get you? I'll have a beer. It's 11:30 in the morning. Yeah, but in Holland it's 8 o'clock at night, so it's okay.
I like his style.
So I get him his beers, every day beer. So he guys has his fight. Then after the promotion, we go out in the town. So, hey, Raymond, I'll go get you beer. He goes, no. Now that the fight's done, now we party. I get a double vodka on the rocks. Do you want Coke or lemonade or? No. On the rocks. I'm like, fuck, that's heavy. And then, not long after, he passed away from a heart attack riding his push bike in a park in Holland. So, so devastating.
I've sent you his videos before. Ramon Deckers is like the
king,
like Tyson of Muay Thai.
He was the first Westerner to really beat the Thais at their own sport, and he was the one that inspired me, that showed me that we can beat the Thais in Thailand.
Yeah.
And not only can we beat them, we can knock them out too. Just because they don't show any pain doesn't mean they're not feeling it. And
Right.
So he inspired me to be great.
That is one thing I wanted to ask you about, actually. And then we're getting to you. We didn't forget about you.
Yeah, Reece, sorry, bro. Stick with us, bro.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but people always ask me, like, what's the difference between Dutch kickboxing and Muay Thai? I would say the Dutch started using a lot more like Western boxing, like big with the hands, where the Thais are mostly kicks, right?
Yes.
But your style, and you had never trained with the Dutch or anything, but yours is punch heavy too.
Yes. So in Thailand, the punches don't score. You can land 10 punches and now do one body kick, and then the body kick will win. And then the knees are higher again, so there's all different scoring system over there. And it's all betting too, so you have to... and then leg kicks don't score either, so it's all above the waist. If you kick above the waist, you can throw 10 leg kicks and one body kick, and the body kick will outpoint the leg kicks.
I didn't realize the leg kicks don't count.
Yeah, they don't count either, because it takes more skill to kick to the body than it does to kick to the leg.
So was it a risk for you being punch heavy? Fighters like you and Ramon and being punch heavy meant like you had to knock them out, right? Because those punches aren't scoring, but if you can knock them out.
But then I found the punches set up the kicks too, because you'd punch them to the stage where they start covering up, and that would give you opportunity to land the body and stuff as well, and set other things up as well. So, and then pressure. The Thais didn't like the constant pushing forward and pushing them against the ropes, and they like to dictate. And when you change the tide of the fight and push them backwards, they're like, ah.
Yeah.
So
Has the influence of the Dutch style changed training in Thailand even? Like, have the Thais picked it up and run with it?
they got to work their hands a lot more.
Still?
Yeah. They're getting a lot better with their hands, but back in the old days, that's what helped me win my fights was my boxing. Definitely got me over the line majority of the times.
Yeah. And why do you think the Dutch became so fierce why did the Dutch pick up? It's such a weird connection how the Dutch picked up on it and are some of the most feared.
Oh, for such a small country too. They
Yeah.
have so many superstars, and majority of the world famous kickboxers are all from Dutch Holland. So it's insane just for the champions to a population ratio is insanity.
Yeah, I don't know why that started either, because the Dutch aren't really known for I would
martial
say, like,
arts?
combat, or anything like not that they're not good at it, but like stand out. But
Yeah,
for some reason,
even
kickboxing,
boxing, you don't hear many Dutch world champion Dutch fighters, but the kickboxing majority of the Westerners are all from Holland. So
Is it true the Dutch
Holland
are,
and France, and France is big too.
they're super direct? Like their culture is very, like they call stuff out and then they don't know that they're calling stuff out. Like they might say something like, your outfit looks bad today, but it's just Dutch. Like did you ever notice that with Dutch people?
They're probably stoned.
when I was fighting for Glory, Glory had a bunch of the Dutch guys because Core Hammers, was like part owner of Glory and everything. And those guys would come to town. Like I remember there was a show here in Denver. Just like you said with Ramon, fight week. They were going to the casinos, drinking, smoking all week long. And you're like, to us, we're like, wait, how are you an athlete? These guys are chain smoking cigarettes. But
Really?
But their cardio is like amazing. They don't get tired. Yeah. They're just used to it. And they were going out partying every night, like going to clubs.
So the Dutch party, basically.
Yeah.
I was very lucky to fight in Rotterdam the once, and then the next day I went to Amsterdam for 2 days. And then, it was definitely a culture shock walking through the red light district and getting invited to all these different clubs. And, hey, you want sex show? You want to see sex show?
Yes.
I've been to Amsterdam a few times.
So have I, yeah. Amsterdam's a trip, dude.
Yeah. And then the sex shows are pretty. I don't know. They got a routine. It's like 1, 2, 3, change. 1, 2, 3, change. 1, 2, 3. You get to see every position in it.
That's got to be exhausting. Can you imagine getting ready for your sex show that night? You're like, this is the third one this week. I just don't feel like, most people don't feel like going to work. Can you imagine if you were just like tired and you're like, I don't want to go to my sex show tonight.
Yeah.
This is going to suck.
I remember going through the red light district, and because I stayed there every time. Like the people don't realize the red light district isn't just like the sex stuff. That's where like a lot of the cool bars and like
A
hotels.
lot of nice
and stuff
hotels.
are.
Yeah, I stayed there too.
All the canals.
And we would sit there at this one bar that like overlooked all the glass booths in the street, and we were like betting drinks, like oh, this guy's going in for sure. Like, getting people out, and it was always like kind of who you'd expect. The guys like looking around everywhere by themselves and like passing back and forth. So we were betting, and it was like I had the most fun playing that game because we ended up taking just shot after shot.
So in Holland, they got all the workers work behind these glass, and then you'll have one hot chick here, and then you'll have another chick here, and then you have this big fat lady eating a Subway. I'll go with her. Every single variety you could think of is all, just wouldn't. Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, they have like a union and everything. Like it's a legit job there, and it's
Good for the Dutch.
yeah. You know what I always wondered though is like, whose job is it to clean all those? So, there's some cleaning service like that's even below being the prostitute. Like, the one who has to clean it. Yeah. I think dwell on that for a bit.
That's rough.
So Reece, ONE FC, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. Let's go back. So how did you guys get connected? Did you start your career with John?
Oh no.
No, so I got a bit of a like humble sort of beginning. Grew up on a small island. Kind of was introduced
Hey,
to
Reece, pull this up a little.
that up a little bit.
There you go.
That's better.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, we're on. Yeah, this is probably my second podcast I've ever done. There we go.
There you go. You're doing great.
Oh, it was
So small island.
Yeah, it's a small island. Got shown bits and pieces from just travelers, yachties, whatever.
And what island was it?
Christmas Island.
Christmas Island.
Yeah.
Is Christmas a big deal on Christmas Island?
Yeah, it's the running joke.
Don't we have do we have a military base there? American?
We have a military base everywhere, Chris.
I thought Christmas Island, for some reason I've heard of Christmas
Christmas,
Island.
Christmas Island is famous for their crabs.
Is it?
So is Chris.
That was good. That was good.
He was
That
ready for that one.
So Christmas Island. So tell us about Christmas Island. I had never heard of it until you walked in this room.
Yeah, it's 2 seasons, hot and cold. Rain and hot, and
Maddie, pull it up.
Yeah, I want to see where this is at.
it's more close to Indonesia than it is Australia.
And it's
there
still
it is right up there.
It's still Australian territory though.
Yeah, yep. So Australian. They don't let me walk out with the flag because it's not a like national flag or something. It's quite annoying.
Huh.
Yeah, there it is, way up there.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then the funny story, my mum was born on the same island.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, so my grandfather was working in the mines over there, and then my mother was born, and she was born on Christmas Island, and then just by chance, one day we were chatting, Christmas Island, oh my mum, oh, and so we
Wow,
had a
wild.
connection from there.
Wild.
Because what's the population there? Like roughly?
When I left, I think there was like 900.
Oh, so everybody knows everybody.
Oh yeah.
900 people? 100. I thought you meant 900,000.
Oh no. There's like 10 kids to a class.
900 people total.
Yep.
There's more people in this office park.
Yeah, like
That's wild, bro.
1,400 as of 2010.
Yeah.
Holy shit. When did you leave?
Would have been 2008.
And how old were you in 2008?
Just turned 17.
Were you ready to get the fuck out?
Oh yeah, pretty much. Yeah, all my buddies had crash cars. I was like, well, I got to get off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
eventually you just like start finding trouble because you get bored, right?
Yeah, it's like you got, who was it? The mines would have like fly in, fly out, whatever, and then at the old airport. Oh, key, thank you. Joyride.
Stealing planes and shit.
Yeah, I was like, oh. When my buddies got into a really, really bad car crash, I was like, yeah, we got to go.
So do people is like alcoholism and drug use and
Oh, well, it's all, what's it? Tax free. It's all
Boozers.
duty free. So, man, when we were drinking the double blacks vodka, like $10.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was wild.
That's awesome.
So you go over, so you grow up there, you move when you're 17 by yourself or with your family?
With the family.
Okay.
So we go from a small island to a country town. So
Oh.
polar opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wild.
And that's in Queensland that you
Yeah.
moved to? Okay.
Yeah.
And so you were kind of training a little bit on Christmas Island, just like here and there?
Yeah, like
going in-
YouTube, self-taught sort of thing. When I moved over, oh man, I ran this bill on my grandparents' internet. You know, like they're old, they don't have the big gigabyte thing. It was like $8,000. I was like, all YouTube, all clean. Yeah, I was just like, oh, I'm learning.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, it was so bad. Apparently, the warnings that I was over their amounts was coming up in their account, but not mine. So I was,
On it.
yeah.
So, what was it? My sound keeps going out in this. Oh, where was I going with that? So, did you get in a lot of fights and stuff growing up, or just
You
martial
know,
arts was
Never been in a street fight to this day.
really?
Yeah.
Same with my brother. We were just talking
Really?
about that the other day. Yeah, my
Never
brother's
been in a street fight?
My brother's never been in a fight outside of like the ring or cage,
Wow.
except by me kicking the shit out of him with kids.
Prove it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's different than how I grew up. We fought every day in high school and in university. It was constant. Every weekend there was a fight.
Yeah, that's what I grew up doing too. It's it's still my favorite thing to do.
Getting fights on the street.
Yeah.
Shout out Nate Diaz. So how did you guys link up?
So when I moved, I thought, screw this. I want to do this full time. Moved into my mate's shed, and I was training at his gym. So that was just like over the mountain, like literally over the hill. I come in the morning, sort of thing. Was training mornings, and then I was like, I just got stuck doing my own thing. It ran its course, and we got stuck talking at a fight show, and I was like, well, I'm kind of looking for.
You're already a black belt by this stage and already fighting for one championship.
Yeah, I was kind of knew what I was looking for and found it and more. It's
When you say black belt, what were you a black belt in?
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, okay.
Oh no way! Who'd you get your black belt under?
Vincent Perry, and he comes from the John Wheels Association. So Higan Machado.
Oh,
pretty
okay.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
used to
it
train
was
with you then.
at his seminar. He was there and pretty much gave it to me, and I was like,
so nice. I trained with him in Beverly Hills for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Hegan's
right.
everywhere.
he's the man.
So you're already a black belt. You go to him, and so John gives you the sort of now the stand up skill to accompany the.
I've never had pads. So my first 9 fight, I've got a shit record, and it's a shit record because I just never really got looked after. It's like, hey, he's the champ at the moment. We're gonna fight him. Yeah, fuck
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I'll give it a go. Like,
Meaning no bout management. Is
no,
that
no,
kind of what you yeah.
not nurtured.
Yeah.
I've had the most unnurtured career, and it shows I got a pretty shit record. But fight me, and it's fuck on a bad night, it's a shit night for you. So
Yeah.
it's just I just got to run with it. But
Yeah.
my first 12 fights, I probably had no sparring at all.
Wow.
Yeah,
Just showing up.
just let's get fit, let's
Figuring
grapple,
it out, yeah.
and then from there I started dabbling, but no pads, and then last year and a bit, the most pads I've had in my whole life. It's
Nearly 2 years now. And then the last 2 fights, one by stoppage. And then
Stoppage on the feet, punching.
yeah,
yeah.
The guy's foot blew up. He kicked me, but
the Chinese guy before that.
the Chinese guy before that dropped me with a huge shot, bounced back and took his back and choked him.
Nice.
But yeah, it's all up and up from here.
Yeah. Let's go.
Now you're piecing them together, you know, like, yeah, you got the jiu-jitsu and then there's nobody better to be training with striking.
And then Mr. Chetri, he after his last fight went to say hello. He said, "What did you do to Reece? He's a jiu-jitsu guy, and he's winning by striking. This is insane. This is so cool. It's so good to see the elevation of Reece's career. This is really, really exciting. And now, he's number 4. He's going to fight number 2. So hopefully the next fight's for the world title. So
Yeah, so ONE FC is massive, right? I think they have higher viewership than the UFC because they're worldwide. They're
Yeah, to hear that it's sold out.
yeah, so
That's
that-
wild.
within the first few days.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, that's where Demetrius Johnson went.
Oh, okay.
So is he still the champion for them? Or did,
Yeah,
He's
the
defending.
main. He's the
Okay.
main.
Yep. And,
So real quick plug, if you want to see the fight, it's sold out in Denver, but you can watch it online.
Amazon
Prime.
Maddie will
Yeah.
put the link in the description.
yeah, Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
I forget what their viewership is, but I saw the numbers one time, and it's like because they're through Russia, Asia, like
Wow.
everything. They actually have more.
Do
viewers,
fighters make good money or equivalent
more.
money? Way more money.
way more?
That's
I mean,
awesome.
the big
Good for
ones,
you,
right?
bro. Yeah.
I made the most money fighting for them. I was lucky to fight for Bellator for a couple of years and other promotions, but one's looked after me the most. And I got nothing bad to say. They looked after me so well. I'm so happy, and I'm still lucky to be part of them. And they recently flew me to Singapore to be on the Asian version of The Apprentice. So it's
Nice.
it's really cool.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I was just a special guest to take the contestants through a challenge. So they flew me over to take the contestants, and then the first day we did it, it rained. So they said, "Oh, we're going to cancel the shoot," and then they flew me back to Australia again. So I got to Australia, went to pick my bag up. I get a beep on my phone, and Mr. Chatri's like, "We still want to shoot that scene. Can you come back to Singapore next week?" It's like so yeah, come, and then UFC was in Perth that same week as well. So flew to Singapore, flew back in, went to Perth, come back again, flew to Singapore for another 36 hours, flew back in. So I ended up doing 42 hours of flying in 12 days.
Wow.
So,
With 6 different planes.
so Chatri, what's his last name?
Your Chetri,
Sijitong.
Sijitong.
So he's the owner of.
So Sijitong is that's the part of where they take the gym's name and use it as the last name.
Yeah.
So
So Chatri, I believe, is from New York, right? Where I don't know about from, but grew up in New York or something. I heard an interview.
Thailand.
Is this the
Grew up in
owner of one?
grew up in Thailand and got the opportunity to go to Harvard.
Oh, okay. He's a billionaire. I think he owns Air Asia, right?
Oh, I don't know.
I
don't
thought
know.
something like that. Maybe these are all like
Yeah,
rumors
geez.
or myths, but he's a billionaire. And I've heard nothing but great things about him, honestly. I've never met him or anything, but yeah, he's done a lot of cool things. So Chris, with ONE, it's kind of like,
I'm listening. I'm pulling his name up. I'm interested.
if you think about kind of like Pride, where they basically put on fan-friendly fights and they make their own rule set depending on the fight, right? So they'll have strikes on the ground, like you can kick grounded opponents. They'll do no gloves. They'll do gloves. Like it's
Demetrius and Marias. That's how Marias beat Dimitri the first time was grounded knee into the head and stopping him in the second, I think it was. And then when they rematched, and then Demetrius won by a flying knee to his head.
Yeah.
So they both won by knees, and now this is the trilogy.
I still think he's probably the best MMA fighter of all time.
Oh, big time.
He doesn't get enough credit.
No, not at all.
I mean, he's amazing. Like technically, he's great everywhere, and it's just sad that he's smaller, I guess, because people are like, if he was a heavyweight and fought like that, it would be.
And I think only recently, Israel only gave him a shout out a couple of days ago saying, did everyone forget about Demetrius? We're talking about pound for pound. Did anyone forget about Demetrius? Because he's got to be on there in the conversation. You can't forget about him with everything he's done.
Yeah. And so one thing about Demetrius, one of his fights not too long ago, fought Rotong, right?
Half rules.
Yeah, half rules. So what they did was Rotong's like a Muay Thai champion. First round was only Muay Thai. Second round was MMA.
MMA,
right?
yeah.
Yep.
And then third round
Muay Thai
again.
And then third round, fourth round MMA. So Muay Thai, MMA, Muay Thai, MMA.
That's kind of sick.
It's cool. They just make their own rule set based on like what would be awesome. And
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then the submission grappling only started last year. Last year.
Because Gordon signed with them, right? I don't think he's competed, but I know he.
No. They did sign him, and they signed DeBass as well.
And DeBlas, yeah.
I bet Gordon's contract is huge, right?
Didn't he sign with Flo for $1 million or something?
Yeah, I
think it was a different promotion.
I think it was Eddie Alvarez when he went over there was saying that he left the UFC. I forget what he was making. It was like $900,000 a fight.
Yeah.
Where with the UFC he was making like $2 million.
Yeah.
So they
were paying him bank.
Yeah, some of those guys are making some money.
Good.
And I see Sage Northcutt's on this card. He hasn't fought since Cosmo, right?
Cosmo hit him with that one punch, and I think he's face fractured in 5.
Fuck, that is the one where he like leg sweeped him and caught him?
Yeah.
Is that the fight you're talking about?
Yeah.
He hit him with that crazy overhand right.
But didn't he like sweep his leg and
that was a different guy at Cosmo.
Oh.
Because you fought Cosmo
three times.
Three times, yeah?
I won the first one and lost the second 2. So,
but the fight you're talking about is where Sage's face got like caved in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I broke a bunch of bones. I don't know who set that fight up because that was a terrible fight for him to take.
I think it was Cosmo's first MMA fight too. So technically it was Sage's. Sage was the favorite. And then, Cosmo hit him with that crazy punch.
But Sage is mostly a striker, so I was like, man, what are they? It would be different if Sage was like more of a wrestler.
Yep.
He trained with us for a little bit out here, and then I don't know where he's at now, but
yeah, he's on the show. He's very exciting to be part of.
Oh, he's on this weekend's card.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
What next weekend?
Or my fault. Next weekend.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Demetrius Johnson's on this one. I think I'm going to be able to get us tickets. Actually,
Dope.
I was talking this morning. Yeah, Mikey Musimesi. I always mess his name up, but he's an amazing grappler. So that one's got to be.
He's my buddy. We're friends.
This is a stacked card, huh,
Yeah,
boys?
it's super stacked.
Cool kid. And then Stan Fairtex, she's a super duper star. She does
Champ, wasn't she?
She does a little dance before she walks out, and the crowd just go crazy every time she makes an appearance. Yeah,
I've never been able to get any leeway with them. I've tried so many times to get with one because I was like, man, I'll fight any of the rules. Like if you guys do bare knuckle, I'll do it. If you do MMA, the Muay Thai, like all of it.
Have you reached out to them direct?
Yeah. What's his name?
Because I hate managers.
Who's the matchmaker again? Demetrius' coach.
Matt Hume.
Matt Hume, yeah.
Yep.
And he's just like, all right, thanks. We'll let you know. Ong La, he's fun to watch. Burma, that's where he's from.
He looks like a beast.
Yeah, he was a 2-division champion, right?
So Angla's equivalent to Elvis.
Is he?
They have a statue of him in their country, and he can't walk down the street. He gets
So loved.
he gets
So loved.
mobbed.
Wow.
He's the guy that can show that you coming from poverty, that you can become a hero. And he's such
How
a nice
big is
guy.
he? Where is he? What does he fight? Middleweight, which is 185?
I think so, unless, are their weight classes different?
Yeah, it'd be up one. So
205?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Ong La, I'm going to try to get him in here too. Him and I talk all the time. We're on this little group messaging thing forever. Great dude.
Yeah, really nice.
Pumped to watch him fight too. Hopefully we can get out there.
So are you guys, I want to see this kick in the face, bicycle kick twice in the face.
Bicycle
Are you guys
picking.
going to get to come to Chris's fight this weekend?
Hopefully, yes.
Oh, awesome.
We're gonna try anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him after this. See if we can get you guys some tickets. So tell me about your opponent, Maddie. Can you go back to that card? You told me-
Yeah, I fought him in 2018 or 19. I was in the Grand Prix. They
okay.
had a flyweight Grand Prix that Demetrius ended up winning. I fought him in Japan, so that was cool.
How did that go?
It went his way, decision.
Decision.
Yeah.
If you click on him, Maddie, will it show the stats for the fight? Sure, either one. Yeah. So he's from Kazakhstan.
Yeah, ex-world champ too. He's beat Paralysis.
Okay, I think I've seen him fight before. The names all blur together sometimes for me. I know that
Yeah.
sounds horrible, but
There's a lot of fighters, a lot of stuff to follow. He's in like pretty big win streak. It's all you decisions.
and he's more of a ground guy or striker.
He's kind of
Well-rounded.
scrappy. Yeah, he's like the Greco kind of stand-up, just throws.
Oh, okay. Oh, and he's out of Tiger Muay Thai now.
Yeah, I think so.
How tall are you? Because you gotta be quite a bit taller than 5'4".
Yeah, I'm 5'6".
5'6", okay. And that's are you the second fight of the night?
Yes.
Nice. And people always worry about where they are on the card, and I'm like, man, if I get paid the same, like,
Yeah,
it
that's
doesn't
how I'm
matter.
feeling.
I'll fight before the crowd gets there. I don't care. Let's see. Oh, is that
That was the last one. He wouldn't come out for the third. They finished the second. They're going back to the stools, and then we've gone to start the third, and the referee waved it off. He couldn't get off his stool.
Yeah, he sat down on the ground and
so? Reece, have you had any major injuries? Not to bring any like jinxes here. You know?
I broke my thumb on that one.
Your thumb? Oh,
Yeah,
got it.
got a nice little scar now.
Oh, did you have to have surgery on it?
Yeah, I got a nice plate in there.
And then what's your stitch count now? I know you keep track of how many stitches you've had.
350.
350 stitches.
350, perfect. 350, perfect.
He had a. Did somebody make that photo for you? Somebody like
Yeah.
did a map of like stitches
Yeah,
where he's had them.
if you do John Wayne Parr stitches, that'll show a superimposed of if I hypothetical if I had them all at once.
I was showing them the video yesterday of the side of your head cut. You're making it top. It's WAYNE PARR stitches. You know how to spell stitches?
I've made a mistake. Can I run to the toilet?
Yeah. So you'll go straight through, kind of towards the front door, and then make a left.
the one-
I'll show you.
Look at this photo. The first one on the left. See that, Miller?
Man, these drinks are delicious.
Hey, we got more. Yes. Sages? Oh, okay. He's with Alpha Male. Actually, I think he's been there for a while.
I think so too.
So you had hip surgery, hip replacement.
Hip replacement.
How's that going now?
Really good. I got to the stage where I couldn't barely walk, and then because it was bone on bone, so every time the bones would touch, my leg would just give out. And then thinking never be able to fight again, never be able to exercise or train, or just the idea of walking was agony. And then got the replacement, and then I was back in the cage 9 months later fighting.
Oh, so you fought since? I
I
thought you
had
got after retirement.
two more fights with one since I got the surgery.
And you're officially retired, or is that?
So I'm on 149 fights, and my Muay Thai is 99 wins.
I saw that.
So if
yeah.
I get one more fight and one more win, not only do I get 100, but I also get 150. So my OCD would be,
that would get me too. I'd be like, I gotta do one more. Like,
who stops on 149?
yeah.
It's just
Unless you're Mayweather, right? Did he stop at 49, or did he get? Connor was his 50, I think.
maybe,
Technically, right?
maybe.
Yeah. So there's a chance.
There's a chance.
What does your wife think? Is she?
She loves it. She wants me. She likes me fighting.
Oh, she does. She's not like, all right, you're done. Like,
I don't know. One time I had my eye socket fractured in 2 different places, and then during the recovery, I'm thinking to myself, "Oh, I think I'm done." And then I told her, and she goes, "You're not done. We need the money. We got kids. We got bills. You have to go back out. As soon as you're ready, you're out there again fighting. So, you're the boss."
you're like, that's what I like to hear. That's better than her trying to convince you to stop.
Yeah, no, she's definitely encouraging. She loves it. She encouraged me to live my dreams. One time when I was fighting a gentleman called Yotsenglai,
Yeah.
he'd already beaten me twice, and then the fight got matched. And then one night at dinner, she goes, "You know what? I think you should go back to Thailand and spend the next 4 weeks in the lead up for this camp. I can run the gym. I don't need you here. You go to Thailand. You sure? She goes, yeah, I'll take care of the kids. I'll take care of the gym. I'll take care of the business. You need to win this fight for us. So I want you to go to Thailand. And then, and then I ended up contacting Sanchai, went training with Sanchai for 4 weeks. And then after the 4 weeks, I thought, oh, hey, Sanchai, is it okay if I bring you a pad holder to Australia so you can help me in the corner? He goes, my pad holder? What about me?
Yeah.
I love Australia. You want to come to Australia? I love Australia. I'd love to come. Sure. So next minute, I'm buying a ticket for Sanchai. We fly to Australia. Sanchai staying in my house.
Oh, that's awesome.
We'd train in the nighttime. We'd have a shower. Then he'd come upstairs in his pajamas and he'd sit on the couch watching telly. This is like, what's going on? I got Sanchai sitting on my couch. This is insane.
He seems like the coolest guy,
The
too.
coolest guy. He's only like this big, but he's got his little jacket and his glasses, and he knows he's the man too. So when he's got a little strut, and he's just And then when I fought, I just wanted to win so bad to not make him embarrassed. Sanchai, I gotta win for you, not just for me, but you're Sanchai. And then luckily, in a very close fight, I ended up finally getting the one over Yodsanglai. So I beat my nemesis.
Yeah, because did you guys fight in the finals for the Contender Asia?
3 times. So he beat me the first time on points. He dropped me, but I ended up going the decision. The second time, he dropped me another twice on the Contender final, and I went to the decision. And then the third time, I'm thinking, I don't really want to fight him because I know how much pain and everything. But I got offered 40 grand. It's like, 40 grand. I've never made 40 grand before.
Yeah.
So, as I was walking to the ring thinking, this is going to hurt so bad, but at least I'm going to make money, so it's going to be okay. That justifies it in the pain to money ratio when the money So, and then we had a cracker of a fight and getting the win. So it's definitely my highest achievement in the sport to beat him.
That one is, because Buakau too. You fought all the...
Yeah,
You
Buakau
fought-
twice.
Yeah.
Buakau, the first time was in Japan, and the second time we fought in Jamaica. Out of all the countries, we fought
Really?
in Jamaica. And then they put a ring on the next to the beach. So the same deal out in the park. They set up the stadium for 5,000 people, and because it was in Jamaica, the locals couldn't afford tickets to come to the show, and then nobody came. So they had 10 world title fights, the greatest versus the greatest, and I think the promoters spent $500,000 on the production, and then about 100 people came.
Oh, Jesus.
So they lost $500,000.
Did you get paid?
I got paid. It took like 3 months to get paid, but
Yeah.
eventually it got some money.
I've heard like some of the Caribbean islands, like I've had some friends go there and fight, and a lot of them like haven't been paid and stuff like that. Like things like that happen where nobody comes because, they go to a country where it's very poor, but then
Yeah.
they expect all these people to come. So that one, what promotion was that? It wasn't like Bodog or something, was
No, it
it?
was called Champion of Champions.
Champion of Champions.
Yeah, they ended up doing another 4 or 5 shows all around the world, and then every single show, they put a couple of posts on Facebook thinking they were going to attract all these people, and no one would come. So yeah, needless to say, the investors were too business savvy. They made a program for hospitals. So the hospitals, so they had plenty of coin and they loved the sport and they really wanted to push it to the next level. And every show was like amazing, matchmaking wise, but they just had the idea of how to generate the crowd.
Yeah, there was a lot of people. I can't remember the name of it. There was an event here a really long time ago that had like Babalu fought, Jeremy Horn, Shogun, like Trevor Prangley, all these like big name guys. They fought in a one-night tournament. Forrest Griffin before the UFC.
Yep.
And it was at the big arena here, and there was like 200 people came. But like all these guys became like legends, and it was a one-night tournament, so they had to fight. I think it was 3 or 4 times to win it. And I want to say it was it Bob? I think Babalu won it.
Oh, nice.
But beat Shogun, Jeremy Horn, and I think Forrest Griffin in one night. It's so funny when you go back and like the people don't realize until later, like that's a piece of history.
Yeah. And if you're on the undercard, you're probably making $2,000 or $3,000. If you win, you get the big jackpot. But if you're on the undercard and you don't get the big one, you're fighting for scraps. And it's so funny. So, speaking of money, when you see the guys in the UFC and you see the prize money, And then you hear all the people that are not in the sport, "Oh, this is ridiculous. These guys are making peanuts. They're only making $500,000 a fight." And you think, fucking $500,000. Oh, I'd swim across the ocean for $500,000. Yeah, we're making 1,000, 1,500, maybe 5,000 if you're on a big show.
Yeah.
So the idea of making 100,000 in one fight, that's the dream.
I know. I remember my first UFC fight. It was 8-8, 8,000 to show, 8,000 to win, and I won. And I was like getting a $16,000 check. I was like, "This is the most money I've ever had." Like, I remember being so proud going to the bank to deposit it. And oh man, now times have changed. I like that it's getting bigger and bigger for guys because fighters deserve it. You know, I mean, you're putting your body on the line. Everybody else, every other sport makes millions.
They did the prize money for Israel's last fight. I think he made 3.1 or something for his last fight.
Good, yeah, that's a good day.
That's a huge payday. That's for UFC. That's pretty.
Yeah, it's massive. Did you
massive.
get paid any bonuses?
Did I?
Yeah, did you make any bonuses?
One. That was I fought Joe Riggs. It was all the knees. I ended up I hit him with a jab, and it I don't know what happened. He kind of shelled up, so I ended up clinching him, and I hit him with 10 knees just back to back, and broke his arm and his orbital. Went down. It was 25 seconds, so I got the bonus on that one. Oh, nice. And that was cool because you don't find out till later.
Hey,
I'm out partying and stuff already, and I get a text and it's like, "You got the bonus." I'm like, "Yes." An extra 50 grand.
make mine a double.
Yeah, right? There's some of those guys that hit those doubles, man, an extra 100 grand that you weren't even expecting. It's, the taxes and stuff suck. Once you realize how much of that you get, you're like, "Oh, wait. I mean, it's still better than nothing, but you pay everybody out. Your coaches get a chunk of it and this and that, but still, I can't complain."
Yeah. It's pretty exciting. Now, one championship is doing the bonuses of all, so 50 grand. So
Are they? Oh, okay.
it's
Awesome.
really cool. Really cool.
Now, does ONE FC, do they do flat pay or is it show and win?
With me, show and win.
Show and win.
Yeah.
For the Muay Thai, I think it's flat. For mine, I just got the flat rate.
Was it like that for boxing for you too?
Yes.
Because I'm new to that a little bit. Bare knuckle does flat, no win, nothing which is kind of nice because you know exactly what you're making.
Yes.
I mean, there's been times I've gone into fights and you're like, well, if I win, I get 100. If I lose, I get 50.
Yeah, because my whole career's been Muay Thai, and then first time I heard about MMA, where it's 50-50, win and lose. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Where did that come from?
I think they thought it would incentivize guys to fight harder, but I mean, have you ever fought before? My incentive is to not get my ass kicked. So if that's not enough for you, I don't know. The flat pay, I think, is a lot more, like I said, you know what you're going to walk away with, which is nice, because that anybody listening, if you ever imagine going to work and your boss is like, "All right, this month we're only paying you half."
Yeah.
Even though you were planning on this much, it sucks. I hope they kind of do away with it and the flat pay. And then bonuses, keep the bonuses coming.
I've never been in that situation where I was always been flat. So I've always guaranteed, I know this is coming in, so I know what bills I have to pay when it does. But to only get half, that's ugh.
And a broken heart.
Yeah. And a loss. And a loss.
It's like a double fuck you. You lose and you get half your pay.
Here's some dirt.
Yeah. Anybody want to spit on me on the way out too? So with ONE, are they doing fight of the night, submission of the night, knockout of the night, or performance?
So they're doing performance, but it's not guaranteed how many. It's under CEO discretion.
Oh, so it could be more than 3.
It could be.
Okay.
So Jake Haggerty, he just got paid
double.
Double.
He got double bonus. He got 100 grand instead of 50.
Wow.
And who else got 100?
Liam Harrison as well.
Oh,
he
yeah.
got dropped twice, and then come back and drop his opponent three times,
times.
all in the same round. One in the first round, got knocked down twice, pretty much done, and then somehow or other
Got up.
and then drops the tie 3 times.
It's 2 minutes.
Really? I'm going to have to look that.
And
Was
a
that
tough opponent too, wasn't it? Give me,
no,
it was
banger.
a killer.
Really? Was that in ONE?
One, yes.
yeah.
Okay. And can you rewatch him on Amazon?
I think I
I have to go
would say
back.
so.
I love watching Liam fight.
Pretty much all on YouTube too.
Or their app.
Their app.
One.
Oh, they have an app?
They have
Okay.
an app, yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Watch a lot of stuff live on their YouTube channel and their app as well.
Oh, I'm going to have to look that up.
It's definitely 100% on YouTube. I know it's on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And it's free.
Yeah.
the best part.
I like free. So we'll get out of here soon. I know you guys are jet lagged and everything. I want to ask, what's kind of the worst injury you've had? I always ask people that because some of them have some
The eye socket was probably one of the worst. The eye socket, I was in hospital. I had the fight. So I fought in Melbourne, which is a 2-hour flight from where I live. Eye socket broken, straight to hospital. Spend 4 nights in hospital with the doctors, umming and erring if they're going to do surgery or not, to put a sheath in under my eye socket. And they ended up not doing surgery. But the only thing was I wasn't allowed to fly home.
So the pressure.
The pressures. I had to get my mum to drive me 24 hours back home again to get. So that sucked. And then the healing took months. The rest is just superficial stitches and stuff. They done a couple of days and take the stitches out. That's not too bad. But the eye socket really, that was because it broke in 2 places. Every time I turn my eye, the eye would scratch the. It was so painful. It was crazy pain.
Yeah, orbitals can be like career ending too for some people.
Definitely.
You know. Yeah, no leg breaks, anything like that.
No, the ribs and knuckles and everything else, but nothing too bad.
Yeah, I was just thinking of this because, like I said, I was talking to Weidman the other day, and you're the Muay Thai expert. Because are those calf kicks? They call them calf kicks, the really low leg kicks. Are those very popular in Muay Thai?
No, they're non-existent. I didn't even hear of them until they've only just started getting popular the last 2-3 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Before that, I got leg kick. My last one, it's calf kick for the first time. They're quite painful.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah.
That's all I really throw anymore. Like for years now, and nobody seems to know how to defend them very well. And I was going to ask your opinion why you think so many legs. Not that it's a ton, but there's been quite a few leg breaks lately. And
for sure.
I know I asked Boss Rutan that, and he had an opinion on it, and I didn't know if you had any say on why you think some of these guys are snapping.
So Edward Fulliang got me in the first 30 seconds of the first round, and then I had to try and do the poker face. Went the 3-round distance, and then I pretty much went from the cage straight to the ambulance into the hospital because I thought my calf was broken. I thought my shin was broken. I spent the night in hospital. Not the night. Pretty much missed the show because I was in the waiting room, and then did the X-ray. No break. Went back to the hotel, went to bed, woke up next day and walked to the toilet. And then the pain was gone. And it's like, I would spend all night in the hospital thinking I got a broken leg. But the next day, the nerve came back again.
It was that dead nerve or whatever. That
it
happened
was
to.
so strange.
That's happened to a few guys too. I think it happened to Cejudo. Like you see their leg go out and it's like limp, and then
Chandler.
Yeah, Chandler.
The floppy foot.
Yeah. Oh God.
What's Bass's? What's his theory?
So Boss's theory was that what do you say? Like I don't know why I'm looking around for a ruler. He said, think of the shin bone like a ruler where, you got the sharp edge and then the flat, and guys are smacking with that flat end where it would be, I'm not describing this right. Sorry, boss, if you're listening to this, or it's like putting a ruler on the end of the table and like smacking it like it's going to snap. That and like throwing kicks with their legs straight, like locked out so that there's no
flex.
Yeah, there's nowhere for your leg to go. I don't know. He's done some videos about it. I'll have to send it to you. He breaks it down a little bit more. And then just the way guys are positioning it so they're not setting it up and they're throwing straight their shin to the shin bone instead of hitting like the inside of the leg.
Edward stopped Alvarez with the calf kicks, didn't he?
Dropped him. Yeah.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah,
He's a big kicker.
Yeah, yep.
Big kicker.
Yeah, well, let's wrap this up so you guys can get out of here and get some rest. We'll get you guys some fit soda to take if you want.
Just an appreciation for having us on. This is so cool. Come all the way from Australia and then got to come on the show. This is amazing.
I'm pumped.
Hey,
Yeah, the last thing I thought I'd be doing.
Really?
Thank you. Yeah.
Hey, you got to get used to the mic. You're going to be champion, eh? No, hey, I can't thank you guys enough. I know, like you said, you're jet lagged, coming all the way from Australia. I've watched you forever. I've followed you forever. Massive fan of yours. And Reece, now I'm a fan of yours too. I'm hoping we're going to be at your fight. So I'm surprised. I'm supposed to figure out these tickets hopefully today. And then, if you guys, I'll set you up a party after if you want. If you come out to Bare Knuckle, I'm having an after party at Tom's Watch Bar. So we'll have to get you out on the town.
Food. I just want food.
Yeah, we'll get you food. But anything I can do for you guys while you're here too, let me know. I grew up here, so I mean, we got everything. I'll show you guys our gym and stuff too. You're welcome to use it anytime you need. We've got cold tubs and all that. So again, thank you guys. And where can people find you? So
Wayne Parr on Instagram. And then
Reece Lightning.
Reece Lightning?
Yeah, Reece Lightning 91.
Like it. All right. What's the walkout song going to be?
Sticky Fingers, Land of Pleasure.
There we go.
The Bad Boys.
All right. Well, hey, thank you guys again.
That's the name of my porn clip.
Yeah. I had a comment in there. Right? Sticky fingers. All right. Make sure you like and subscribe. Leave us a comment. And we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us.
Big time, no man. Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine.